Thanks for choosing us. This afternoon, the New Patriotic Party has threatened to hit the streets next week in protest of what they call the unfair treatment meted out to the NPP Bono Regional Chairman Kwame Balfour. Mr. Balfour, popularly known as Abronye DC, has been remanded into police custody for 7 more days by the Accra Circuit Court after he appeared in court today. The decision, the court says, was to give prosecution more time to conduct investigations into the charges brought against him. His lawyer, Enoch Afakwa, says the continuous detention of his client breaches Article 19(2)(c) of the 1992 Constitution. He spoke to the media after the court proceedings today. My colleague Jacqueline Aswaiwa has more.
Proceedings ended not long ago where the case was heard for Mr. Kwame Balfour, popularly known as Abronye. He was arraigned in court on Tuesday and then he was set to reappear here today, 12 September. Now he's been remanded again into his custody. And well, we've been speaking to the MPP's national organizer, and according to him, when they were inside the court, the police presented a couple of evidences there that shows that they were done, but according to Henry Nana Boakye, he doesn't know why the Ghana Police Service still insists that they need more time to ensure that they are done with investigations. He's been remanded to police custody again for another 1 week. In fact, I am surprised that a misdemeanor could attract such high-handedness. The approach is bad. It's just abuse of his rights. You saw almost about 100 policemen fully armed to the teeth. It looks like this unfair application of the law, the bias is becoming too much. We are going to rise up against this unfortunate treatment. The police says that they need more time for investigation, that is all. Meanwhile, in their own charge sheets, they had stated that they have completed their forensics. The police is unprepared. So the fact that they are unprepared means that you should be kept in police custody for another 1 week. Very unfair. That is just a reason. Very, very unfair. So in the same vein, then you have Sofa Zoka, who has been granted bail and he's been told to appear before court on the 12th of September also. Well, the lawyer for Abronye also confirmed this, and he also talked about how long he's being remanded for.
Against an accused person who has not pleaded guilty to the offences that he has been charged with, and a clear breach of Article 19(2)(c) of 1992 Constitution. But we believe in the rule of law in due process. Certainly, we have the instruction of our clients to pursue their matter, and as far as that is concerned, we will climb up and make sure that his liberty is restored. Certainly, he has been remanded into police custody. It's a man full of life. He knows this, that this is just mere political persecution. And certainly, he's hopeful that yes, his liberty will be restored one day, and yes, he's pursuing what he's pursuing in furtherance of democracy.
Basically, we also saw a lot of reactions here in court. We saw the minority leader Alexander Afenyomakin, who was also here, and he spoke about a lot of things. I'm talking about the fact that his life was threatened when he was in Akwetia, but he said that the IGP did not do anything about that, and he also talked about the fact that there were other people, party members, who were equally threatened in there, but nothing was done about that.
National officer of the NDC threatened my life and other senior members of the party. Threat of death openly. We petition.
We also saw the former Attorney General in court, Godfrey Dami. We also saw the former national chairman of the MPP, Freddie Blay, in court. A lot of big wigs of the MPP made an appearance here in the Accra Circuit Court. So that is all that transpired today in the Accra Circuit Court. And as we know, he's been remanded and set to reappear on the 19th of September. Reporting for Joy News, I'm Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah.
Abronye DC is expected to appear before the court on September 19, 2025. He has been charged with offensive conduct conducive to the breach of public peace The NPP, as I told you, has threatened to hit the streets and will be engaging them shortly. They say that Ms. Demino should not attract such high-handedness, and we'll be speaking to them shortly on the show. But before that, the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, has been raising key concerns about what is going on in this space. He has condemned government for a number of actions, including the arrest of the Bono Regional Chairman Kwame Boafo, properly known as Abronye DC, and the removal of the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornum, in a no-holds-barred statement before the UK Minister for International Development and other civil society organizations in Parliament. The minority says that the two events amount to a spree of political vendetta against the minority and the previous government.
Member of the ECOWAS Parliament and its third Deputy Speaker have traveled around the West African sub-region, and we are far ahead, except that we can do more. For instance, on the issue of justice, human rights, I mean, just yesterday I saw one of my regional chairpersons on just an act of misdemeanor, and he had been handcuffed and being pushed into Black Maria. These are things that I feel we don't need. It's a blot on our democracy. We don't need it. The excesses of institutions where government has to take responsibility for can be improved upon. And of course, we in the minority are not satisfied or happy with how the Chief Justice was recently removed. You know, we see it as more of politics than really ensuring that there's some accountability. Of course, once we've been in office for 8 years, we expect that the new government coming in with its reset policy may want to investigate, and all is part of the politics, the democratic accountability. They must. But we also expect that the law will be applied in a humane way. So, for instance, if you are investigating someone, you ask the person to report, and he reports. You don't just handcuff the person when he has voluntarily come to you for investigation, and then you say, I have put a bail bond of, say, 50,000 on you, look for property before I release you. These are some of the challenges that we believe we can improve upon, because for the past 30 years, it's become clear that both parties have had the chance to govern. I am a moderate politician. I believe that the excesses where the hardliners take the center and you take the pace when a government comes into office must be a thing of the past. I must admit that some of these excesses are happening in my time, in our time, our 8 years in office. Some did happen. But we cannot continue with a vicious cycle of you do me, I do you. There are key governance issues that I believe as a democracy we can focus on to improve on the lives of our people.
Well, let's explore this further. Join me now is National Organizer of the NPP, Nana Boakye. Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. You have threatened to hit the streets. When exactly will that happen?
Yes, the National Youth Wing is putting together a very big program. I mean, this intimidation, harassment, this deliberate weaponization of state institutions just to harass the opposition must end. And clearly, you saw it today. Look, you have the NDC's vice chairman who threatened to kill the minority leader. You have the NDC's communication officer in the Boakye who threatened to kill my good self, Anodompre, and Honorable Afenyo-Markin. And this gentleman is working freely. Just today, we were told that Sofa Zoka was arrested, granted bail, and he's been told to appear before the court on the 12th of September or so. We don't even know when he was arrested.
Look, when Abronye was arrested, we saw images of Abronye all over. Handcuffed. And he was even pushed into Black Maria. We don't even know this so far as thing. So clearly you could see that there is a certain deliberate attempt to just throw in this news to try to equalize, but it will not wash. If a misdemeanor can attract a 1 week remand, don't forget that he was in court on Tuesday and he was told to appear. He was again remanded into police custody to appear on Friday, and today he's again been remanded for another 1 week. Yet, so far as Oka, who threatened the life of the minority leader, is working freely and he's been granted bail. Abronye voluntarily went to the police station upon the request. So he's not a threat. And these are just misdemeanors. So I am surprised how the police would allow itself to be politicized and to be weaponized against the New Patriotic Party. And it looks like we have a situation where we have different set of laws for the New Patriotic Party and different set of laws for the NDC.
You've always maintained that his treatment has been unfair. But legally, what's the procedure? And what article in the Constitution is government even breaching in the first place?
No, but that is what I just told you. That if somebody is slapped of charges that are misdemeanor, and if you can hold the person, if you can keep the person in police custody for close to about 2 weeks, and then somebody threatened to kill somebody, which is a felony, and you grant the person bail, then clearly this is an imbalanced application of the law. This is an unfair application of the law. Who knows when Sofa Soka was arrested?
But aren't you pleased that he was arrested? Because the minority and as well as the MPP, you raised concerns about that. And the police is taking action.
No, we don't even know. That is why I'm saying that when Abronye was arrested, he was handcuffed and pictures, images of him were all over on social media. Have you even seen a picture of Sofa Soka arrested? We have just seen a statement from the police. So that is why I'm saying that this is an unfair application of the law. In one breath, you call somebody, the person in fact responds to your invitation. And then you arrest the person. You put the person in handcuffs.
But the fact that you haven't seen pictures doesn't imply it didn't happen. Or you doubt the police statement. Is that the case?
That is what I'm trying to say, that if this person can threaten the life of the minority leader and can be granted bail to go and just appear before the court on the 12th of September, and somebody commits a misdemeanor, and the person is given almost about 2 weeks remand, then clearly you could see that the state institutions are being weaponized to harass the opposition. And that is very, very unfair. Look, that is not the only case. Recently, you recall that there's this rough guy who went to Rich Hospital, caused mayhem, who breached the privacy of people who were seeking health care. In fact, when the guy was even called to appear before the committee set by the minister, he said he would not go. He sent his lawyer also. With such impunity, he disregarded the invitation of the committee, and the person is still working free. Consider, were we not in this country when this Dr. Ansan Satali or whoever, who was a fake doctor, in fact, he clothed himself in such a manner that he even got an appointment to serve on the board of the National Health Insurance Scheme. Later, when they found out that he was a fake doctor, then his appointment was revoked. He was not being arrested. It is a criminal offense.
So you have maintained it is politically motivated,
so,
right?
You could see that people who are associated to the NDC, they are being treated with kid gloves. That is why we are going to stand up against this. That is why we are going to protest.
When exactly will you be hitting the streets?
23rd of this month.
And what areas? Is it across the country or just centered in the Greater Accra region?
No, we are going to announce a series of events.
Okay.
Right after this 23rd September protest.
Okay. And this protest is happening where?
It's being organized by our National Youth Wing, and then our party is fully behind the National Youth Wing to put together this protest.
Okay. And where is it going to be happening? Is it across the country or centralized from the Greater Accra region?
Oh, that's why I'm saying that it will be announced. But then
okay.
This is 23rd. 23rd, we are all converging at Brasport, and then we'll be marching to the police headquarters to present a petition. So the entire party is fully behind the National Youth Wing to put together this big protest against this weaponization of state institutions to harass the opposition party. Why?
And this petition you'll be submitting to who exactly?
Oh, the police, the IGP. And you see, interestingly, you know, we even sent an official petition to the IGP regarding the conduct of Sofa Zoka. And then also this gentleman, Alhaji Amadou, a Boakye North Communication Officer for the NDC. We sent a petition official signed by the General Secretary as we speak. We have not received official correspondence from the police.
But since Sofa Zoka has been arrested and is set to face court...
That is on a different charge. Sofa Zoka's arrest, if you know, is just regarding the physical assault on our third vice national chairman. That is just the case, because our third vice national chairman made an official complaint at the police station in Akotia. So that is it. But then we are talking about the threat of death targeted at the person of the minority leader. And again, the threat of death targeted at three persons, myself, Honorable Anodompe, the minority leader, made by the Alhaji Amadou, Abdul Amadou also, the Boakye North Communication Officer. And he is working free. We sent this petition last week, and the video is viral. Faustina, you have seen the video.
And so, as a political party, I know you've been liaising with the lawyer for Abronye DC. What's his next line of action? Will he be challenging this in court, or will he just appear as the court has scheduled the next meeting for?
We will let you know about that.
Okay.
There will be a meeting to discuss the way forward, and I will let you know about our next move.
Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. Nana Boakye, he's national organizer for the NPP. You heard it here first. The New Patriotic Party will be storming the street to send a petition to the IGP. They're concerned about the arrest of some of their members, which they claim is politically motivated. Now, away from that, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has arrived in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, ahead of his visit to the asylum site, providing shelter for over 20,000 Ghanaians who have fled the country because of the recent clashes in Binyiri in the country to move to Ivory Coast. Head of our Diplomatic Affairs Desk, Blessed Sugar, joins us live with more. Blessed, what can you report? Oh dear. Blessed, you have to position rightly for us to speak to you and get better connection to you. You're still watching The Pulse. After this quick turn, we have more for you. Please stay tuned in. Thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. Now, it was a scandal that shook many Ghanaian households when customers of gold dealership firm Men's Gold discovered their investment had vanished. The collapse of the company pushed many into financial crisis, forcing them onto the streets on countless occasions to demand the arrest and prosecution of its CEO, Nana Boakye, also known as NAM1. 7 years on, the aggrieved customers say their pain has only deepened. According to them, more than 240 victims have died, some through suicide. They are now renewing their demands for justice. Let me bring you the convener of the Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of Men's Gold, Fred Forson, to join the conversation here on The Pulse. We appreciate your time, Mr. Fred. It's been 7 years 7 hard years for you, I presume. How would you describe the journey so far?
Yes, 7 years of denial of our hard-won, hard-earned investment, what we have worked for over all our life, and 7 years seeing very 200, some more than 240 energetic Ghanaians who have lose their life as a result of this complaint. Very, very for us. We keep.
I don't have clear connection to you. Mr. Fred, I'm hoping you can position rightly so that I can hear you clearly. I don't have clear connection. You were just describing to me your ordeal for the past 7 years. You have the floor.
Yes, yes. So what is that the 7 years has been actually wanted, and our ultimate aim.
Oh dear, Mr. Fred, I am still struggling to hear you. I don't know if it's your connection, but we would have to reconnect the line so that we can hear you clearly. Because I've been going through your statement, and you say about 240 customers, all members of your coalition, have died. And we just want to find out how you arrived at that number. So I want you to reposition rightly, and then let's try again.
Yes, these are just reported cases to us. These are members who died, and family members have reported them to us. They are people that we know. They are members that we used to go on demonstration with them. Some of them were present. Some of them were present with them at the hospital when we passed. Some of them, unfortunately, had to die in our hands. We were holding them and all that. So these are official figures that we normally from time to time we keep track of what is happening among our members.
It's quite sad, isn't it? But then there was attempt by government during the previous administration to ensure that some of your members receive some of their investment. What's the update on that process?
Are you referring to the current government?
The previous administration.
Well, what the previous administration did was the criminal trial, which commenced on commenced in 2023, and that is a trial that we are on. But in terms of the fiscal processes leading to the retrieval of our money, we couldn't reach any viable agreement. What has happened now is the current government has taken some steps, and last month, that was July 29th, we had a meeting, leadership had a meeting with His Excellency the President at the Jubilee House, and there that he made a pledge that he was going to appoint a receiver. And so in our statement today, even as we we commemorate the occasion of the Black Offense, we are using this platform to appeal to His Excellency the President to expedite things on the appointed receiver, and also ensure that he provides clear roadmap in the upcoming 2026 budget as to how customers are going to receive our money. We also said that the court processes, the ongoing criminal trial, we remember the case started on a very speedy note because there was this daily trial. We used to go to court on a daily basis, and that is what resulted in the determination of the prima facie case against Abronye. But after that was done in July 2024, the case has returned to that normal snail pace, whereby we go to court, and all that we are faced with is this incessant adjournment that sometimes we shall go to the court and we'll be informed that the case is postponed. And so when customers hear some of these adjournments, it reaches that sort of mistrust, and they believe that the state is not doing anything about this criminal trial, and some of them even tell me that, oh, these are all tricks that they are playing on us. But we still have faith in our criminal justice system, And so we want to use this opportunity to call on the respective Chief Justice and the court to do everything possible within their power to ensure that the case resumes on a daily basis. As the court resumes from the vacation next month, which is October, we want to see daily trial of the case so that justice will be served within that reasonable time.
And based on the information you received from your lawyers, why exactly is the case always been adjourned?
Most of the time, one unfortunate aspect of this trial is that, I don't know whether good or bad, the trial judge is also a court of appeal, a judge at the court of appeal. So sometimes you go, even though we were given a date in the previous sitting, the next sitting that you go, then you'll be told that the judge is having a case at the court of appeal. So both lawyers must take a date. This thing has happened severally. Also, Namor went on appeal. He went to the Court of Appeal. He went to the Supreme Court to challenge some of the rulings at the lower court. And so all these factors are part of the reasons why the case has been made. But we believe that in spite of all these things, the court still has the power to expedite action on the criminal trial so that justice will be served within our time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fred Forson, for your time here on The Pulse. Just giving us updates as to some of the key concerns they're raising. He's telling us that government has assured them that all their investment will be returned to them. He's also appealing to the president to fast-track the process of ensuring a receiver takes over the process. And he was just giving us an update here on The Pulse. Well, today I promised you an exclusive interview, and it's time to bring you that interview. We're focusing on Ghana's film industry today, and one of the most pressing conversations that we are going to have today is about the movie industry. And you know that that industry goes beyond the cameras, the script, and the actors. It's about the true engine of filmmaking, the crew. Yes, the crew. Without a solid base of well-trained and highly efficient crew members across every department, production struggles to meet global standards. Too often, Ghana is forced to bring in more than half of its crew from outside the country. This reality weakens our competitiveness and gives nations like South Africa a clear advantage, firmly positioning them as the top destination for international production. But today, we're delving into that and how Ghana can rise from the ashes. We're joined by someone who understands the film industry very well. She's an award-winning international filmmaker whose work has taken her across continents. Yet, she's always keeping her eye on the developments here in Ghana. She's a storyteller, a trailblazer, and a passionate voice for raising standards in African cinema. Welcome, Leila Jansi. Thank you so much for your time here.
Thank you.
On The Pulse.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's so formal.
Yeah. Of course, the Joy News channel is a bit formal.
Yes.
But then you've been in Ghana for some weeks now. I've seen your interviews around.
Yes.
When you're in Ghana, what's your favorite meal?
What's my favorite meal? It varies. Right now, it's wache at Two Sisters in Oyarifa.
That's right. You like the wele and the meat and the fish and everything.
I actually don't like wele because I saw how it's made and it was really disgusting. So
you don't like wele? No. Please, some of us will still eat wele, even if we know that it provides us zero nutrients. I'm going to show you a video. You might not eat it again. Oh my God. Oh, but it's glad. Do you eat fufu?
I do.
Okay. But wache is your favorite?
Wache is not my favorite. I actually do not necessarily have a favorite food. I waver.
Okay.
But my lazy go-to is spinach, like contomber stew with ripe plantains.
That's good.
That's my, when I'm lazy, that's what I make.
Okay. You can cook it yourself.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Go, girl power. Go girl power.
I am the best cook around here.
Wait, I have to go to a house and taste the food first.
Please.
Before we bet and approve it here at Johnny's.
Please. I actually have a restaurant, so you should come there.
Okay. We'll discuss that after the show. But it's great to have you in the studio. And we're just discussing the movie industry. The last time I watched a Ghanaian movie would be about 2 years ago.
Okay.
I'm saying sitting through the whole movie. And it's mostly because when you watch international films, the standard, the quality, is very difficult to watch our movies, especially the action-packed movies where you see the bullets flying around.
The James Bond.
You know?
Yes.
And the funny soundtrack underneath. Well, how did we even get here in the first place?
How did we get here? You know, when I think there was a standard when the film industry was under GFTC?
Yeah.
I'm butchering the acronym. But I think there was a standard around that time, right? But then I think the industry got handed over to a certain group of individuals who were seeking more of self-interest than actually advancing the film industry. Because if you're in it to say, oh, I want to build a house, I want to buy a new car, then all the outside involvement, because I know Netherlands, India, France, there were a lot of countries that were supporting the Ghana film industry. Malaysia had TV3, you had Gamma, you had all of those industries. And I think when Nollywood happened, it really affected all of Africa, probably excluding Francophone Africa and then South Africa and the more lighter-skinned Africa. It did not touch them so much, but Nollywood really disabled the West African English-speaking industry, film industry, because their style of filmmaking was intriguing, and people were looking for that intrigue. People were looking for escapism, and Nollywood provided that, whilst we were still trying to make realistic films. The thing is, movies are not supposed to be realistic. They're supposed to be realistic to a point, but they're also supposed to provide escape. That is why you can watch Scandal and believe that Olivia Pope is having an affair with the American president.
You know, and we're all rooting for them. Oh my God, the side chick won in that movie.
The side chick did win in that movie.
So I get it. I get it. No, but then let's look at the quality we're delivering now. And as compared to our Nigerian counterparts, they've also faced similar challenges in their scene.
Yeah.
But somehow they've been able to rise from the ashes. But we're still stuck there. Gollywood is struggling.
I wouldn't even call it Gollywood. I'm not sure that's a name we should even ascribe to it. With Nigeria, Nigerians have always been very, very strong storytellers. My favorite writer is Nigerian. Her name is Buchi Emechere, right? She's Nigerian. So they have actually always been very, very strong storytellers. We have not necessarily taken certain risks. Again, when Nollywood came, one thing that I realized we do in Ghana is we follow, we don't lead. So when Nollywood came, it got to a point you would watch a Ghanaian film and they were dressed like the Nigerians would dress in those rural setting films. We were saying mama instead of Mami or Daniel, you know? We were copying them blindly and abandoning our identity. So it got to a point, Ghana film did not have an identity. It was trying to be Nigerian, be American, be Indian. It didn't know what it wanted to be. And the people who I want to say call themselves the stakeholders, I'm not sure what stake they were holding, and I'm not sure what experience they had to call themselves stakeholders, because all they really did was become the pillars that didn't support the industry, but sort of overshadow and stifle it and force it not to progress. And that is the quagmire we find ourselves in right now, where the real problem here is the industry doesn't have an identity, the industry doesn't have structure, it doesn't have infrastructure, it doesn't have accountability, and really it doesn't have leadership.
Is it
because the guilds are obsolete.
Is it something you think we can fix, really?
Oh, yeah. It's
How?
very fixable. Somebody's got to be the bad guy.
Okay.
Somebody's got to be the bad guy. And I said it on another Joy show a couple of days ago that for me, the way out is to dismantle the guilds. And since the guilds are part of the film bill, it's actually very easy to dismantle them, which means the minister in charge of that section of the country, of the industry, should just dismantle the guilds and give them a mandate to go reconstitute. So when you ask them to go reconstitute, what's going to happen is the mandate is, this is the qualification to become a member. You meet those qualifications, you become a member. What are you doing? You're upscaling the membership of each of the guilds, editors, directors, actors, cinematographers. You are upscaling those divisions or those departments, right? So once you do that and you say, when you're a member of this guild, these are the regulations you have to follow before you can work on a film or work on a set or even make a film. Now you are structuring the industry, because the mandate that you're giving them is to build a mission statement, build create a structure that allows the guilds to actually function. So if that happens, I think there's a way out for the industry.
And how can we even improve the quality of the kind of movies we produce? We watch foreign movies and it's like, take me away. At some point, when I watched Suits, at some point I wanted to become a lawyer.
You wanted to become a lawyer.
And I will still go to law school, that is certain. But then you watch our movies and then you go back home and you are scared of everything. They project Africa as a very dark nation where you drink water, you're going to die. There's some witch flying at night. How can we even change that narrative when it comes to our script writing?
Well, again, goes back to the guilds. If you have a functioning writers guild, and the people who are a part of the writers guild, the people who are hired to write, have a certain kind of training, then you are changing the face of the industry. Then you're changing the stories that are told. Then you're changing even the films that get financed or get made. And then when you have those kind of trained writers, when you have an industry that it's not inward looking, where people would not even want you to critique their stories. So if we do not have an industry, like I consult for the Cherry Picks, and it's a film aggregator. We receive critics, we groom critics, we receive critics. So it's all about, you made this film, this is the breakdown of the film, the story structure, the cinematography, the editing, the acting, the directing, the producing. Is it a low budget? Is it a big budget? When you are able to accept that kind of criticism, you just get better. But here, if you criticize, oh, you're a hater. No, not all criticism is hating. Some is there to actually make you better. But until you accept that, and until you accept that this is just going to make me grow, people just won't praise. Can't function like that.
And for you being in the industry for so many years, one of the key challenges you face, I'm looking at financing, because I know for most of the filmmakers, they're concerned about how to even finance some of the projects. And for you who have time and time again raised finances to deliver the movie production that we all love to watch, how do you go about it?
Well, I'm actually in the middle of raising money right now, so that's a very easy question. You need a package, and that's, again, it goes back to training and actually having a leadership of people who understand how the industry works. So I want you to give me $1 million to make a film. The first question you're going to ask me is, what's my ROI? How am I going to get my money back? What is going to... So you have to now present to the person you're asking the money from, this is how you're going to get your money back. Who's the cast? Who's the cinematographer? What's the story? What other stories are like this? And how did they do? It's called a comp analysis. So there is a process of putting together a business plan for your film, which you send to an investor, and then that investor is going to look at it and decide whether or not they want to be a part of the film. If you do not give it to an equity investor, you could give it to Joy News, Joy Prime, and tell Joy Prime, can you finance this film and commission it as, your original? And that, I'm not saying it's that easy, but that is the process of raising money. And I feel like in this industry, people just walk up to you and say, I have a script, give me money. It doesn't work like that. You have to explain to me why this is valuable. You have to explain to me why I got to put money in this and how I'm going to get my money back. So if we start looking at film industry as a business and not a means to an end, not makeup and hair and nice clothes, I feel like in Ghana, the film industry, it's all about the premiere. The nice dresses we're going to wear at the premiere and then take pictures and put the pictures on a blog, and that's it. I feel like it all leads up to the premiere. Film is a business. You should treat it like that. It's not fanfare.
Is it a lucrative business? Have you made money from it?
It's extremely lucrative. I'm here. I mean, I have nice hair.
The wind is blowing your hair.
Tell you.
That's right. Okay. No, but I'm also looking at the quality of actors we have. Sometimes you watch people and it appears they're not growing. It appears they don't even understand the script. And it appears they're just reading to us.
Yeah.
And so how do we ensure that we're producing quality actors for the industry, even as we're looking at fixing the issues in this industry?
I would say quality actors. Who's directing the person? Who's selecting the person? The script. Because the thing about acting is, if the script does not inspire you, you are not going to be inspired. You're going to try, but if the script is dry, the script is dry. So sometimes I don't blame the actors so much. I don't put too much of the blame on them. I also am looking at what's the script. I'm also looking at who's the director, right? So if you're a producer and you are putting a project together, you do have to look at, okay, this is my script. Who is the best person to interpret this role? You call for an audition, you filter through the people, and you bring on a director who actually understands how to get a performance out of people, you know. But what I've also seen in the industry is most of the actors are actors because they want to be on TV, not because they understand that it's a craft, that it's a career. It's the glamour, it's the glitz of being on TV and wearing nice clothes and, you know, all the other perks that come with it, no matter how morally degrading. That's why some of these people are acting. And with a functioning guild, going back to the issue of guilds, with a functioning guild, you will be able to weed those people out.
You appear to be on the guild. And
I am on the guild.
And I'm wondering, if you know how to fix a problem, why not apply to lead?
Oh my goodness, in this country?
Why?
Would disown me? No. Look, the industry, as you can see from the past couple of years, has been politicized. So when it comes to politics, I mean, my dad did it, my sister did it, they both died. My dad was brought back from a campaign event, foaming at the mouth, you know. My sister pretty much was a fixer for the NDC. She died a week later. They forgot all about us. I'm not interested in the politics. If you're going to politicize the film industry, well, that's on you. I think if anything should happen, maybe there should be a rebellious faction. There should be a group of filmmakers who split and go do their own thing. If that happens, I will gladly join. But the politicized aspect of the film industry, it's a bad idea.
Why not leave that agenda?
To break away? You don't know, you know your people. So you guys are going to meet and say, we're going to meet here and we're going to walk backwards, and somebody's going to go tell the king that they're going to meet here and walk backwards. You know how it is.
So the pull him down syndrome is a problem.
Oh my gosh. Everybody wants to be first. Everybody wants to be the leader. Everybody wants to be the one they're talking about. Look, if a choir is singing, yeah, the choir leader can sing, but the harmony is whenever the people in the background join in. We need to understand that concept. We need to adopt that mentality that it's okay to be in the back, you know? I mean, since 2020, I was nursing my sister. I was working in the back. I was editing people's scripts. I was a ghostwriter. Since 2020, I wasn't directing, I wasn't on set, I wasn't doing red carpets, I was in the back. And when you're a ghostwriter, you write, you don't get credit. So the movies, big movies, but you can never go out there and say, oh, this movie is, I wrote it because you're a ghostwriter. it's okay. At least I got paid. I paid my bills. It's okay to be in the back. Until people understand that, I really do not know. I don't know. I think right now everybody's just for himself, God for us all.
I see that South Africans and Nigeria, they're leveraging the streaming platforms.
Yes.
Like the Netflix and what have not. But then our films still struggle to make it on that side of the world. How do we deal with that? And how can we leverage on streaming platforms as Ghanaians?
When you go to Netflix and you say Ghana, they're like, no, no Ghana, no Ghana. So it's a fight to have with them. It's a fight to have with them literally every day.
Why?
I'm going to email Ben today. Ben, I'm emailing you today. But yeah, it's the numbers. We don't have the numbers they want. We don't produce the quantity they want. We don't even have the following that would, push films to the top. So that is why Netflix is not interested. So their interest is, right now they've actually scaled back from Nigeria because there was a lot going on there that we're not going to go into right now. But their focus right now is South Africa. Because the thing with Netflix is if you sign up for Netflix, you have your login and your password, and you share it with 20 people. Netflix is not making revenue. So if they find out there is a lot of password sharing in a particular country where they're not really making revenue from, they're gonna pull out. So to leverage streaming platforms is to make films that get the attention that will attract the streaming platforms.
And I was listening to the interview you granted to our sister station, Hits FM, where you spoke about losing a movie to South Africa in terms of the Woman King. And they wanted a kind of scenario, and we didn't have it. I was shocked. Woman King, what really?
I know.
If you go to the Volta region, we have a lot of houses. We could have used it. I don't know if it makes sense to me.
It was funny. It's so funny when you said the Volta region because the production company is TriStar, so I was dealing with TriStar, and they were like, we need palm plantations. I'm like, palm plantation, that's it. Palm plantation is right here.
Exactly.
But it was more than just the location. It was crew, because it's actually more expensive. Because think about it. You're going to fly, and this is a TriStar. This is Gina Prince. She comes huge. You're going to fly all the crew. You're going to put all of them in hotels. And these crew can be very difficult. And it's a union film. By the time you think about the cost of the hotels, the cost of the airfares, right now, the airfares are so expensive. And even at that time, airfare was a lot expensive. It's cheaper to go from America to Nigeria than it is to come here. So if you think about all of that, it's not worth it. It wasn't worth it coming here to make the film. South Africa, you have all the crew. You don't have to take anybody. You take like 10 heads of department and you're fine. You can get every other person there. Like I'm working with this production designer for my next project. He's the production designer who did District 9. He's South African. So they have everything there. That's what we need. That's what we need to do. That's what, because in Botswana, what's happening is a private individual went up to the government and said, I will finance a restructuring of the film industry if you would provide the infrastructure. And there was a partnership between a private individual and the government. So the government said, the government issued a tax credit. The private individual is building sound stages and training crew, but the caveat is you have to be Botswanian before you can be trained as crew. And so they're preparing the ground. They have the support of Steve Harvey. So they're preparing the ground to take all the international productions that come in. All of Number One Ladies Detective Agency was shot out there. It's a waiting industry. So when they're done with whatever training they're doing, once their tax incentive kicks off, you can actually start applying right now. People might end up going there, but if we can also do the same thing where the film schools like NAFTI, like AUCC, if these film schools could say, okay, we're offering crash courses, 6 months training, come and apply, you're a GAFA, you're a DIT, and bring in even liaise with maybe another film school abroad. Like my cousin actually is a professor at Ringling. I'm totally happy to connect those two factions and train the crew. And the government, where the government comes in, is to provide an enabling environment. If the taxes are not set up to provide an incentive, then maybe provide a grant for films that are coming from abroad. Because if films come from abroad, that actually is another way to boost the industry. Because when I did Ties That Bind, the crew that I worked with, when I see them today, because they've managed to work on the films that have come to Ghana to shoot, they are much, much better. They have grown since I worked with them on Ties That Bind. And they grew on these sets, you know. So if the government is interested in doing anything for the film industry, it's to attract foreign investment.
And I see that crews and their work is quite imperative when it comes to the movie scene. That's why you have an event coming up.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Tell me all about it.
So we realized at a roundtable meeting that it was actually very interesting. And I don't say this to knock on anybody, but we were in the meeting and it was like, oh, we have this crew in Ghana. Can we see their resume? Oh, we have this crew in New York. Okay, then that's good. I'm like, wait, why do you want to see the resume of the person in Ghana, but you don't want to see the resume of the person in New York? And the Ghana crew on the table, we were really like, wow, this is a reality we have to face. We have to prove that we have the crew. So my producer, Ludwig, when that happened, he looked at me and said, I think there is crew, we just need to try to find them. So he came up with the Film Crew Network in Mixer, and since I'm in town, I'm like, why not? I think it's a great idea. I will support it. Let's invite the available crew. Maybe we don't know you exist. Maybe the foreign productions who come have never used you. Maybe you have these hidden skills that you've not been given a platform. Show up, you know, and there are people in the country, I'm not going to name names, but there are people in the country who are producers from, you know, directors from outside who are, you know, looking into opportunities that are available here. So they might show up. You should also show up and talk to people. It's an event where you walk up to this person, hi, this is who I am. And I think it's also an opportunity to foster unity, where people can look into each other's eyes and introduce themselves, give each other a hug, talk, and realize and understand that we are not in competition. We should be partners in progress. So yes, it's a mixer to find crew, to meet crew, but it's also for us to break bread and, you know, find a place to be united.
Great. And it's happening this Sunday, right?
Sunday, September 14th, at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park at 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
And we'll be looking forward to that. I'll try to pass by.
Please do.
Am I invited? Do I need a ticket?
You are totally invited.
Okay.
It's free. There's no ticket. Just walk in. We will verify you at the gate because we don't want straight like anybody off the street coming in. But yeah, we will just ask you, hey, what's your specialty? Yeah, we would ask you at the gate, what's your specialty?
Great.
You can come in.
I'll be there to give you my support. Thank you so much for passing by
so much.
the polls. You're still watching the polls. I still have 2 more surprises for you after this quick turn. Well, thanks for staying with us here on the Pulse. Well, I have another conversation for you this afternoon on the Pulse. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to listen in because there's a summit coming up. And I will just zoom into my guest so that he can do all the talking and tell me why exactly I should be part of that summit coming up at the British Council. When?
18th to 19th of this month.
Great.
It's going to be beautiful at the British Council. This is Youth in Business Summit.
Okay.
In collaboration with the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. The registration is full, but I'm here to inform that next year, get ready.
Next year, get ready. So next year, I'll be paying?
You will pay more. You will pay more.
So this is my only chance to get the freebies,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But then why are you focused on entrepreneurs this time?
Right. We've had a new government. So many things in terms of employment is happening, that people are saying lack of employment. My director of this whole event has this vision of we employing more. How do we do that? Those that are having smaller businesses need the empowerment to be able to grow the businesses, to be able to accommodate the young ones that are coming from school, so we can really reduce the numbers as far as unemployment is concerned. That is why we came up with this, with the ministry responsible for employment, so that we can get the youth on. People are doing so well on TikTok today, but we want to reshape them so they can do more. We are talking about 24-hour economy. What are we saying? We are trying to open up more businesses to get more people. But if you have the business, you don't have the knowledge, the requisite knowledge to be able to handle the business, it will be there a day, 2, a month, 2 months, then it's gone. Youth Empowerment Summit. This focuses on the beautiful drive that you need. CEO, they don't understand what is CEO. How do you register your business for grants and support? We want to give you all these one after the other. And
I'm quite interested in that, because one of the key challenges entrepreneurs face in Africa, and in Ghana to be precise, is financing, where you have to rent a shop and the landlord is demanding 5 years rent. Yes. Will you be giving me money if I attend this summit? So
we will not give you money, but the things we are teaching you, we have funds there that are ready, but your documentation is the problem. So we are queuing in all the stakeholders as far as business is concerned into this particular platform. They're going to speak to you to even understand what you do daily as far as your books concerned. I have gotten a grant of about 200,000 euros. Reason is that what I am doing is in line with what the person giving the money is seeking to achieve. Therefore, if you don't know, you just gallivanting around thinking you're doing business. Meanwhile, funds are there to support you. We are here to aid you in the summit, to guide you through your process so you can have access to all these fundings here and there. So we are ready to give you. We have amazing speakers coming to speak to you about justice, about branding itself. People are having products they can brand to meet the international market. I traveled to South Africa and I saw Gary, branded from Ghana so well, and people are buying. So where can you take that Gary business to? We want to aid you to brand it. It's not difficult. We are free to just pay certain amount to certain ministries so that we will be part of certain associations to aid our business grow. We are telling you it is possible. So all the fear as far as the company is too big for me, I'm afraid I want to start small, we want to take away the fear and bring you close to the right market so you can grow and employ more people.
Interesting. And this summit, again, how can I be a part of it? Do I need to register? Even though it's free, is there a registration process?
We're done with registration. We've even closed the registration portal. But what has happened is that we have 3 spaces available for those that want to do exhibition. All our spaces are full. We have just 3 available. If you want to join us, the numbers that are coming, you can count. The numbers are huge. Even they are cutting the numbers because of the way we open the portal and the kind of things we're going to do. We bring in people with these ideas. The issue is that we are trying to give them tasks to do within the period, more like a master class. Then based on their experience, we give them an award and guide them before the coming year. So it's something that you wouldn't say, I wouldn't come. If you want a stand right now, you can call my number. We will give you a space to showcase your business to the world. Interesting.
And then just as we wrap up the conversation, for most people out there looking at being a part of this, it's imperative that they know the location. So it's happening at the British Council, right? Yeah. What time?
It is exactly 8 in the morning to the next evening, the next day 8 in the morning to the next evening. If you
so it's for 2 days?
For 2 days. Okay. On the 18th and 19th of September, British Council is the venue of attraction. If you don't pass by, then you are not in business. I just want to acknowledge our beautiful sponsors who have been with us all these years.
I wish we could have time for all that, but unfortunately, we do not for your sponsors. But we acknowledge the fact that it has been painstaking hard work to work on this, and we appreciate your time here on the show. But then you can just put out a number people can reach out to for that 3 slots that you were talking about and how they can be a part of it.
Right. The number is 0249 507429. 0249 507429. Youth in Business Summit 2025.
Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. Just join us in the studio to give us a hint as to what to expect. He is a key member of the committee that is putting together this Youth in Entrepreneurship Summit, and his name is Wisdom Nana Boakye. Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. When we return from this quick turn, I know I promised you something, and I'll give you that promise, yes, when we return after this quick turn. In the studio is celebrated as one of Ghana's sleekest female musicians, and she's here to promote her new 17-track body of work, After Midnight. Jackie joins us in the studio for a conversation here on The Pulse. Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
It's great to have you in the studio.
Likewise.
It's the first time in the Joy News studio, is it?
First time, yeah.
Yeah. We're a bit formal, but we'll be fine. We'll tone it down a bit.
The difference in the ambience in the room. So.
That's right. but then you've been doing music for a while.
I've been doing music for 6 years now, since 2019, so that should be 6 to 7 years, yeah.
Within the 6 years, has there ever been a time where you felt it's time to withdraw from this scene?
I've had that thought before, but that was when I was a student on campus, because when I was doing music and my biggest song at the time, Forever, blew up, I was still in my second year on campus, so it was just a lot of decision making. I was in a huge dilemma whether I should pause the music and do the school, or do the school and pause the music. So that moment in my life between 2020 to 2023 was quite hectic for me.
Has music been lucrative for you?
It has, I'm not gonna lie, it has been. I think it's been very decent, and I'm actually very proud and happy that I got into this occupation.
Do you ever see yourself doing a 9-to-5 job?
I think if I ever got into 9 to 5, I'd be able to do it really well, because I did international business. And when I was in school, I was thinking of doing something similar to that. So I think I would have done a good job with that.
International business, interesting. Do you have any businesses you've set up so far?
At the moment, no. I think I'm trying to really establish myself well in the music. And then when I feel like my feet is really stable, I would actually love to tap into different businesses, because I think I have the knowledge on how to run a good business.
One of the challenges musicians and even people in the creative arts industry face is in their later years in the industry, they struggle financially.
Yeah.
Because they don't make enough investment. And for you, I'm sure you're already putting steps in place to ensure that is not the future for you. But then how do we end up in that state as a creative? You are paid well. What happens to your money in the end? Why are we seeing more creatives struggling in their later years?
I think aside you as a person knowing how to spend and how to go about your money, you need to also have the right people around you. You need to have the right people advising you or speaking into your ears. So it's because sometimes the lifestyle can get a bit, you would get the money and then you would want to spend it on lifestyle and luxury. But if you don't have the right people around you that are giving you the good advice and telling you where to put your money and what not to spend on, there's a high risk of getting your money going down the drain. So you need to have the right people that are telling you the right things and the right places to take your money to.
And you have those people in your life?
I believe so. I want to believe so.
I'll talk about your song and some of the key highlights and what we should look out for, because I know that you have one which will be playing for you After Midnight album. Excerpts of that will play for you shortly. But we just wanted to look at the entertainment industry. Are you pleased with how far we have come?
If I'm supposed to talk about the Ghanaian music industry mainly, I would say in the last couple of years, maybe 2 to 3 years now, I'm very impressed. We've had some good albums, good EPs, and good singles come out, and it's making the future of Ghana music look very bright. And I'm hoping that the new ones that are coming in will look at how the industry is looking now, learn from it, and make sure they hold on to it equally well when they also tap into the industry.
And as a young creative, sometimes growing up in the industry, you may have to finance some of the music videos yourself. How do you even get the money? Let's talk the money business, because I'm interested in the showbiz.
I think that is one thing that scares upcoming artists or new artists that are coming in. How are they going to fund themselves? Especially when you are not signed to a label and you have to do it by yourself. It can be very tricky, because when I also started in 2019, Till now, finances has been one thing that is very, very delicate. You need to make sure you are putting the money in the right places and you are going to end up making them back.
Thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. Now, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has arrived in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, ahead of his visit to the asylum site, providing shelter for over 20,000 Ghanaians who have fled the country as a result of the recent clashes in Binyeri. My colleague and head of our diplomatic desk, Blessed Sugar, is with him, and he has filed this report.
And yes, that's right. A couple of minutes ago, the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa arrived here in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, ahead of a scheduled visit, a mission that he intends to embark on to ascertain the influx of some Ghanaians into Cote d'Ivoire following the Binyeri clashes which emerged a couple of weeks ago. Tension has been escalating across the border. It's the reason for which we've seen many Ghanaians in that part of the Savannah region flow over into the Ivory Coast, a reason for which the minister is here, just to get a first-hand experience of what's been happening ever since the reports emerged. What I can tell you now is that Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa is in a meeting with his counterpart and other officials from Ivory Coast here at the Sofitel Hotel within the Abidjan area. And of course, the confirmation we're getting now is that the minister would want to spend some time, visit the site himself, and to get first-hand information on what may have led to many more Ghanaians fleeing into this area. In a few hours from now, we're expecting that, of course, we'll get to hear a bit more from the foreign minister on what his plans are, because now these individuals have moved into Ivory Coast, and per international law, you cannot forcefully move them back into Ghana. That would take another level of diplomatic efforts to try and tackle the situation. So it's the reason for which the minister has been interacting with a number of Ghanaian officials who are working here on behalf of the government of Ghana, and also his counterparts from the Ivory Coast side. What we can tell you for now is that, of course, the minister, just as the Interior Minister announced on the Super Morning Show a couple of days ago on radio, is that the official numbers are peaking around 13,000 individuals who we understand have been confirmed that they've moved over across the border into Ivory Coast. And there are questions emerging as to their safety, how they are feeling, and who's even feeding them at this asylum camp. So stay with us. We'll be bringing you some updates, and I can't confirm now to you that the minister has arrived. We're waiting for more updates, and then we'll get to update our viewers on what the next steps will be. But primarily for the Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, we know that he's had a very long schedule, moving all the way from East Africa, Addis Ababa, on the sidelines of the climate talks and diplomatic efforts going on there in Addis, and moving right straight into this engagement. So you can, of course, imagine how heavy his schedule is now as we speak on what he plans to do here. A very short trip, we understand, but of course, the indication we're getting is that he would want to see firsthand what the situation is, receive reports, and get some more updates. Well, that's right.
My colleague Blessed Sugar there. Now, just before we leave the studio, the students of the University of Media, Arts and Communication, UNIMAC, are organizing a program called Political Strategy Lab 2025, I beg your pardon. And I'll tell you all about it. Joining me in the studio now is Callistus Chanagia. He's a student from UNIMAC IJ. He will tell us what this event is about and why we should be a part of it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell me more about this event.
So this event is organized by those in the political marketing class. That is organized by those in the political marketing class to develop strategies for the two major political parties in Ghana, the NDC and the MPP, as to how the opposition, those in the opposition, can gain power, and those in power now can retain power. So the class is divided into two consultancies, Fusion Consult and Top Tier Consult. So on the day of the event, we are going to come up with strategies that are helpful for the two political parties in Ghana.
And this is purely academic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will you be tabling your research findings to these two political parties? Will they be present?
Yes, so we have executives from the two political parties coming. From the MPP side, we are expecting to see Honorable Afenyo Makin. We're also expecting to see John Dumelo from the NDC side and other party executives.
I see. And the event is dubbed Winning Voters Building Trust. And for people who are watching, they're wondering, why that theme?
So the theme goes to say or the importance of political marketing in the Ghanaian politics or the ecosystem of politics. If you study the theme carefully, you would see that it goes to address the importance of political marketing. What we believe as a class is that the strategies the politicians were using from years back have evolved. Some of them are outmoded and they need to be changed or they need to be upgraded. So that is why we are situating this team for this particular campaign.
And then how can I be a part of it? Although it's an academic work, if I want to be a part of it, how do I join the train?
So it's absolutely free. It's absolutely free for everybody. The general public can attend. You can just walk in. It's happening at the Jowulu campus of Unimac IJ. It's free for everybody. You don't have to pay any fee or any entrance fee. Also.
And what time is it happening?
It's happening at 8 in the morning, 8 a.m. in the morning.
When?
Tomorrow, Saturday.
So we're looking forward to that event, wishing you all the best. And let's see how your research findings will help our political landscape. We appreciate your time here on The Pulse. And that's how we wrap up the Friday edition of The Pulse. It's been exciting this week, has been power-packed. I look forward to seeing you next week. My name is Faustina Safo. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.